Okay, so we have the Hermit, the Nine of Cups, excuse me, and the Six of Cups. Where the Nine of Cups is about a fulfillment of a cycle and a fulfillment on an emotional and spiritual level. The Six of Cups is also about a kind of fulfillment and about a health, a joy, a celebration, connecting with children, family, healing your inner child. The Hermit comes out as the one who has spent time in study and in solitude and has gained a wisdom and an understanding. Knight of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Chariot. So, as this time of fulfillment presents itself, there's also an opportunity for a lot of movement. This can be people approaching you with offers, opportunities, something about switching direction as well. And there's something where you are going to be encouraged to make a big move that's going to require you to lean on your faith, your studies, and what you've learned. Six of Coins, Ace of Wands, Page of Swords. Excuse me, so we have the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords out. So as I said, there's an opportunity that's being presented. This is something connected to career. This is something that is going to be almost as a lightning rod. It's like when ideas strike, or when these opportunities, or like actually when you strike a match, this is a big moment of change. It's actually just neurons firing. It's like you coming into contact with the people or opportunities that are propelling you on a new beginning in a way that seems like changing in an instant. I say the next 6 months, these changes are going to unfold. These moves are going to take place. I say also, when those moments come in like lightning, like in a moment, you will meet them, you will know them, and you'll recognize them. Do not try to rush anything at this time, especially in this season where it is still winter. Whether or not you're celebrating the new year of the Gregorian calendar, this is still the season of rest, darkness, and solitude. Okay, we have the Gospel and Fortune. The Gospel is, that glare is, The gospel is in this deck this is about you writing your own book. This is about you studying the teachings that are important to you, maybe orthodox, non-orthodox, non-traditional, whatever. This is about making your own grimoire, making your own scrapbooking series. This is about you crafting your sacred text, and also about coming together with a group of other like-minded people. This could be a book group, a study session, any type of group. This is something that if you're writing this book, it's going to bring you a lot of success. It's going to bring you surprising fortune in ways that perhaps you were not even expecting. Yeah, it's going to bring you illumination and support. It's going to bring you reason to celebrate. In the story of Aradia and Diana, when Aradia was arrested, she took credit for all of the meetings that her group were having. She said that she had put everyone else under a spell. But the way that the gospel survived was that each of the women were given a piece of the history. In the event that they were all arrested or tortured or imprisoned or incarcerated, anything, expelled, each of them would carry a piece of that history. But also, in the event that they were arrested, none of them could, under duress, give up the whole of their history. So this is something where there's a gathering of, again, like-minded people working together, but a gathering of your own vision. When we talk about certain healing work, it's like, what did Beyonce say in Pretty Hurts? It's your soul that needs a surgery. We're talking about a sort of a psychic surgery, looking like a Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, like a different kind of Frankenstein, like pieces all coming together, right? That's a confirmation on that. That's what certain kind of healing is as well. Pieces of fragments of, your soul that have been wounded, pieces of yourself from a past life. Energy that's coming through from people that you're supposed to connect to. Cat's coming through to say hi. Like I'm talking about that energy being drawn in a way that is very beneficial. So as you start to notice these pieces coming together, say hi. Thank you for coming. As you start to notice these pieces coming together, bless you. Literally notice them, Please don't mess up my cards. Thank you. Make note of what you can at this season. Dreams, revelations, ideas, hopes, fears. I had a coffee. Did you move it over a little? Okay, I see it. Yeah, make a note of those things because you're going to want to remember them. Your own recipes, your own gospel, your own prayers, your own vision board. These things are going to be really potent and helpful in the future. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Queen of Pentacles. Look at that purring. That is next level. Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords. Earth sign, woman. Air sign, man. Energy of independent wealth, creative thinking, intellectual ideas, strong wit, and a grounded body that breathes through. Financial stability and independence. Thank you. So that's just another confirmation on the money questions. Now, let's get a goddess guidance message. Here, you can go that way. You're welcome. Watch your tail near the fire. We got one already. Let's get two more. Thank you. Okay. We have Rhiannon, Sorceress. This has been coming up so strongly, but some of you may want to watch or rewatch the Coven season of American Horror Story. I mean, there's a lot of pretty effed up stuff in there, so I don't recommend it if you're a very sensitive person. But there's some really cool stuff in there too, and that just keeps like coming up. So maybe there's something in there that someone should see. Rhiannon, Sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. Literally. Now, this Thursday, I believe, is also the first new moon of the year. I am still going to sneeze. Excuse me. Bless me. This Thursday is the first new moon of the year. And it's the 11th, I think. Okay, yeah, that's fire. Okay. That's a 111 energy. And shout out to Death and Rebirth Tarot, because now that I'm saying this, she posted something about this as well. This is a 111 energy, and this is a really powerful time to get up and move something, shake something, make something happen. So do that. Also, with Rhiannon coming out, which is really beautiful, tying into today's reading, is this energy of knowing your power, knowing your gifts. When you're doubting yourself, understanding that you actually have the ability to change your reality, your circumstances, your conditions, in whatever way that looks like for you. So don't sleep on that ability. That's a very important and powerful thing. Now let's see if I can get more. I wanted to get 3, but now I got 4. Cheers. Thank you. First, we have Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. This one is especially important for the rest of, until like March, for the rest of the zodiac calendar year of 2023, the year of the water hare, the water rabbit. If you break your leg and your doctor tells you have 6 weeks recovery, and on week 5, all the homies are like, come on, let's go out. And you go out and then you fall. Now you broke your leg again in 2 more places, and your recovery time has tripled, and you're going to have a soreness for life. If your doctor tells you wait 6 weeks, you wait the damn 6 weeks, and then you check, and then maybe you still need to do your rehab or whatever. winter is a time for like resting. And so, as enticing as it is that it's like the new year, if you're getting a rush of opportunities that are coming at you that are like invitations to step outside of, to give up some of your power and to relieve people around you of the responsibility of standing in their own power, then you can politely or impolitely decline. Your boundaries are your first line of defense. Smells good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ostara, fertility. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. So, yes, and literally, Ostara is a holiday. So, I would say that like Ostara would be the time to jumpstart on like big, brand, bold new ideas. Ostara would be the time to like maybe so like nurture your ideas for now, nurture your vision, nurture your work, and when Ostara hits, let them bloom, shock the world. Yep, Mawu, Mother Earth, you are called upon to help with environmentalism. To be a true sorceress, you have to be connected to this earth. You have to be connected to nature, and you have to have a love and a respect for the planet that you live on and that gives us life. In case you have forgotten that, you might want to work with some herbs or spend some time outside, or since it's winter, do what you can to help think of positive ways that you can support not only environmentalism, but what it like. I have this belief, honestly, that, you know, it's such an important thing for all of us to do for like the revolution for the world is to like be the best versions of ourselves. And the best way that we can be the best version of ourselves is a lot of that stuff is like boring in our work, right? But some of that stuff is really clearly right now, importantly, people being called upon and asked to be intentional with your intake and your output. If it's the middle of winter and you can access peaches and cherries every day, and you don't live in a place where they're growing, is it maybe a potential idea for you to consider eating something more seasonal? Something to think about. Kuan Yin, compassion. Release judgment. Yeah, that's for me. That's why I got 4 cards. Ooh, thank you, Luce. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. I'm not going to comment on that, but it's important to remember whenever you're like starting something new or embarking on a new journey or doing healing work or whatever the case may be, to give yourself grace first and foremost, and to give yourself gentleness and compassion, because you treat yourself however you treat yourself, and you teach other people the world and the energetic frequencies of the universe how to treat you and how to respond to you in kind. And so if you're not expressing a compassion and a gentleness to yourself first, then what's the point of any of it, honestly? You have to learn to be gentle, kind, and compassionate with yourself. You have to learn and understand that, you know, at the moments where you feel your worst or your struggle, you're still worthy of love and support. At the moments where you F up and you make mistakes, you're still worthy of love and support. At the times when you struggle and you don't know the answer, or you feel lost or confused, or you did go out and break your leg, you're still worthy of love and support. And so you have to find a way to empower yourself enough that you don't expel too much of your sacred energy comparing yourself with others, but also that you take care of yourself in a way that makes sense for you. And living in a culture that is living in a culture that is so focused on dominance and exploitation, it can seem, I think it is natural and instinct to take care of yourself, but it can seem very not natural. And oh yeah, it's spirits all around here. My cat's looking at things I can't even see. Like hard. It's very natural for it to feel uninstinctual to rest, to take care of yourself, to be nice to yourself if you made a mistake, especially if you grew up with those ideals, especially if you grew up like equating your morality to your productivity and so on and so forth. So I love Kuan Yin. I love compassion. I love everything that Kuan Yin represents. And when I was offering Kuan Yin water just before I started this reading, I was thinking about the story that Shannon Lee was telling. So Shannon Lee runs the Bruce Lee podcast. I think now it's called Flowing with whatever the person of the week is. She also wrote a book that was published over the pandemic. I think maybe it's called Be Like Water, Teachings on Bruce Lee or something. It's really good. I recommend you read it. I recommend you listen to the podcast. It was called the Bruce Lee Podcast with Shannon Lee, so you can find it probably anywhere you listen to podcasts. But she was talking about just how there was this big statue of Kuan Yin at the entry to their home, and when she was young, and how she would just go and like curl up in her lap. And I was just thinking like how beautiful that is and how amazing that is, but also how discipline is compassion too. Because I was picturing like a tiny little Shannon Lee curled up in the arms of Kuan Yin, but you know that statue was like cold and hard. That statue was welcoming in her representations and what she emanated and what she represented, but in her physicality, she was not probably comfortable. And so don't mistake gentleness with yourself or kindness with yourself or compassion for not having discipline, for not having consistency, for not having set boundaries. People often think of or confuse those loving attributes with things that are somehow weaker. Well, not all people do, and this is not a feminist 101 course or womanist 102 course. This is the reading. This is what happens. Every time I try to close it down, I get fired up. When I think I'm winding down is when I start to get going, you feel me? Compassion doesn't mean endless forgiveness. This is the thing. People who understand or study the goddess or the feminine or the ancient or the wise still through the lens of colonialism or domination or dominant culture, still miss out on the whole point of everything and still try to talk down to the teachings. Uh, Ma Kali is out of control. Sekhmet is just bloodthirsty. Like they don't have a full understanding of the goddess because they don't have an understanding of women. And that's cool because as women we're mysterious, powerful, and ethereal. But that's not cool for people who are trying to understand themselves and how to move forward on their own path or on their own journey. Because trying to limit a goddess or make her one-dimensional is a farce. It's a fallacy and it's a fool's errand. Do you feel me? It does not make sense. So Kuan Yin and the energy of compassion, which we should all welcome in for ourselves and each other at this time, which are so needed in this planet, are not energies of self. How do I say this? Self immolation, right? It's not about putting yourself down to help other people and doing so endlessly and saying like, oh, because of karma, or oh, because of they needed my help, or oh, because of whatever the reason is. That's dangerous. That is not compassion. Compassion is discipline, consistency, boundaries. Compassion, the reason Kuan Yin came out last, because all of those other energies, Ishtar, Rhiannon, Ostara. Don't embarrass myself now. Who was the fourth goddess that came out there? And Mawu. Can all come back to this energy. Saying no to people who abuse your boundaries is compassion for yourself and for them, because you invite them to take back a power for themselves to do something that perhaps they thought they could not do. Changing the way that you purchase your produce in the dead of winter is not about like looking better than other people. It's about honoring the farm workers. It's about honoring the land. And it's about honoring your own digestive system. You're not really supposed to eat cold fruit in the winter, but that's okay. No judgment. Relinquishing boundaries and pretending to be nice is not kindness. It is not compassion. It is actually violence. And that's where a lot of people in this culture get very confused, because people value politeness or manners over the truth. People think it's nicer to smile in your face, perfumed and pretty, and tell you the words that you want to hear, rather than give you the friendship of honesty that can actually help you. So that's the difference between different kind of people, I guess. What's I go on, spirit? I got anything else to tell these peoples before I close it out? I think I did actually want to pull two more decks out, if I may, to give you a dragon message and a John Holland message. Excuse me. I think I'm going to read to you the dragon message. And give you the John Holland card. While I'm here, are y'all on Goodreads? Let's be friends on Goodreads. My Goodreads is the Balkan Bruja. I want to see y'all reading challenges. Let's link up and sync up. Let me find out. I started doing the Goodreads challenges like in 2022, and I said I wanted to read, 100 books. And so I read 33 books, which is like very cool. And then last year I read 9 books. And this year I haven't set a challenge for myself yet because I don't know if that's helping or hurting. But I love it. Also, download the Libby app. If you didn't download the Libby app, my friend, you're missing out. Let me explain something to you real quick. The Libby app connects to all the libraries. So if you have a library card, which you can get for free, unless you owe books to the library, they're like the police about that. They're kind of intense. If you don't owe any old fines to a library, you can walk in, get a library card, whatever. Get a card, download Libby, get books, audiobooks, magazines, DVDs, anything. Like, are you kidding me? So just to recap, you can download all the books onto your phone through Libby. They'll automatically go back to the library when you're done. And then you can post them on Goodreads and be friends with me and we can talk about it. Does life get any better than that? The reason I'm telling you this is because literacy is important. Also, shout out Haymarket Books for continually making books discounted and free to learn about free watermelon, as it's very important at this time. Okay. Wah. I'm so sorry. I used to watch Borat a lot, and I actually don't fuck with Sacha Baron Cohen or Borat anymore because, we actually went and paid all them poor people like a little bit of money and promised them that they would be, rewarded and that he would talk about their situation, and he just made fun of them, which is not only racist, but real stupid. Also, he's a stout Lauryn Hill's son's name ist. And I don't know. Okay. I say that because like the people of like Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, the people of like Lithuania, Mongolia, Bulgaria, like these people have such beautiful and potent lives, magic, existence, and deserve respect and recognition, and not to be caricaturized in the media or made fun of or mocked. And a lot of the energy of this season, Christmas, comes from that region anyways. So you know what it is. Dormant aspects. Okay? You still with me? Let's go. We all have important, light-filled aspects of ourselves that lie dormant within us. Now is the time to awaken one of these. Ooh, that's exciting. If you draw this card, the Violet Dragon wishes to help you awaken this particular part of you. So try to sense deep in your heart which aspect wants to awaken. Baby, you was just eating and drinking. If it's a bad spirit in here, tell it to go away. And if it's a good one, stay away from that candle. Thank you. So try to sense deep in your heart which aspect wants to awaken. Close your eyes and sense the part of you that stirs. Your inner financial advisor, perhaps, who wishes to bring you to a place of abundance. Or your inner healer, your inner artist or inner child. Take a moment to sense what is in your heart. When you have recognized what is there, do the following exercise. Visualize the violet dragon as it looks at you with its yellow eyes, which are shining sublimely. Stand before the dragon and ask it to transform everything that is preventing the dormant aspect within you from awakening. The dragon opens its mouth and breathes out violet flames, engulfing you completely. Its energy flows through you. In your mind's eye, See how the veils that obstruct your awakening are burning and how everything is becoming clearer. Imagine the sleeping part of you as a golden sculpture with closed eyes, like a statue that bears your face. Say out loud in a firm voice, "The sleeper has awakened." In your mind's eye, see how the statue opens its eyes and begins to move, melding with you completely. Take a moment to become aware of breathing in and out, then thank the violet dragon and take your leave. Sense your body and come back gently, sending golden light from bottom to top through your spine. When you reach the last vertebra, take a deep breath and open your eyes in the here and now. Repeat this exercise on 7 successive days. We opening crown chakras together. That's what's up. Now, just have a check on my cat here. Love begins, prosperity begins, and the waiting game. Spirit got a sense of irony, or what? Love begins. Look how beautiful. Prosperity begins. The waiting game. As I said, it's the dead of winter. I got goofy ass Anastasia songs running through my head. Rasputin, scary ass, not scaring nobody. The waiting game. Just because something is beginning doesn't mean you're going to see exactly those answers that you want or whatever immediately. So you have to be patient. You have to respect. Like, it's like if you're baking or cooking something, it's like, oh, you think you have all the ingredients, you put everything in the pot, on the pan, in the oven, and you're like, okay, but I want to eat. Okay, my friend, did you forget the important ingredient of time? If you're baking a delicious cake, it might take you an hour to cook. If you're baking a delicious cookie, it might take you an hour to cook. If you're making a stir fry, if you're making whatever, the ingredient is time. This is also an ingredient. If you're doing your workings, if you're doing your healing work, if you're doing your energy work, just because you don't have everything that you prayed for, manifested, crafted into your reality that you can see right in front of you, doesn't mean that it's not beginning or unfolding or already here. It's really important too that while you're how you behave, how you conduct yourself during your waiting period. Trust me on this one. This is one of those moments where I'm offering some wisdom, and I hope whoever needs to hear it, somebody take it into advice, right? If you're on a road trip and you suddenly start screaming and kicking and throwing up a fuss or whatever, and then you arrive, you're gonna feel real foolish. Like, dang, I wish I could have waited a little bit longer. And sometimes you can't. That's cool. You gotta trust yourself. But I feel like if you've asked for things, prayed for things, manifested things, understand this. Let this be your confirmation. Prosperity begins, love begins. They're here. Beautiful things are beginning for you and unfolding for you. Something about beginning, something about music, something about Lil Nas X's new beginning. What album coming out soon or something? Shout out to Mr. Star Walking. But yeah. What you do while you wait actually really, really matters. Because if time is the ingredient, then how you decorate your energy while you're waiting, how you decorate your time while you're waiting is really important. Remember how we were just talking about dormant aspects? Some of you are waking up a dormant aspect of some kind of artistry that is going to actually change the world. So know that. The things that you do in this time are really important. But since it is winter, since it is also the season of rest and solitude, don't force or push anything. okay? Let things unfold. Let things make their way to you. Let the universe do what the universe has to do, because trust me, if you rush out a creme brulee, then when you shut the oven, the whole thing's gonna go flat and it's nothing. It's worthless now. Probably still tastes good, but it's not what you came for. So you have to have trust. That what you put out into the universe is gonna come back. Okay? I'm excited to see what dormant aspects this collective wakes up. I really am. I really am. Because I've already started finding some of mine. And let me tell you, it was a wonderful and shocking surprise. But let me say less, okay? Let me say less. So, adieu. So long, farewell, Avita, saying good night. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one.